Eat, Drink, DFW from the Dallas Morning News is made possible by Central Market.
Hey, North Texas food fans, it's time for another episode of Eat, Drink, DFW from the Dallas Morning News. Every week, our food staff loves to dig into the local restaurant scene, talk about food and drink trends, and those things that make North Texas, North Texas. This is Anna Butler. I'm the News' food and events editor. This week, we're discussing the Surgeon General's new guidance around alcohol and what it could mean in the North Texas food scene, with the help of a very special guest. So stick around. You won't want to miss this.
Central Market is really into food. Like when we say cheese, it's in 12 languages into food. Butchers, bakers, and sushi roll makers into food. We're talking so obsessive about quality you can shop blindfolded into food. Central Market is really into food. If you are too, then let us turn your shopping list into a treasure map. Get inspired, get adventurous, or just get a chef-made dinner when you've got more taste buds than time. No place makes every meal more amazing like Central Market. Really into food. Shop now at centralmarket.com.
For the latest food and restaurant news, visit dallasnews.com/food. And we'd love to hear from you. If you have any food questions, a need for restaurant ideas, or just want to chat with the Dallas Morning News food team, email us at eatdrink@dallasnews.com. I am joined by our food writers Claire Baller, Sarah Blaskovich, and Imelda Garcia. Today we have brought back our science fellow, Miriam Fazia, as we dive into the topic of alcohol. This timing is kind of interesting. Miriam and I love to kick around ideas, and so we'd already talked about the topic of alcohol. Is it good for you? Can you drink in moderation? Is moderation even okay? Then early January brought us the Surgeon General's warning. He's suggesting that all alcohol comes with a cancer risk warning, like a pack of cigarettes does. So should this have come as a shock, Miriam?
I want to say thank y'all for having me, and I feel like I deserve a theme song every time I'm on. Just putting that out there. Does this come as a shock? I will say not really. Scientists and clinicians have known for decades sort of the lay of the land between alcohol and health. I can't say, and neither can the experts I talk to, as to the timing of this advisory, why Dr. Vivek Murthy decided to put this out right now.
I can say why. I mean, I'm just guessing here, Miriam, but this is dry January. It's a huge, sober, curious time of year. It does not seem like a coincidence that the Surgeon General's warning came out in January and not in, December, when all of us were imbibing quite a bit.
Yeah, I mean, it's interesting because we're already seeing this trend, especially among younger Americans, of drinking less alcohol than in past years. For example, a 2024 Gallup poll found that the number of younger adults who say they drink alcohol fell from 72% to 59% in the last 20 years.
That's significant.
Yeah, that's a lot. And some more data, 45% of Gen Zers older than 21 said they didn't drink any alcoholic drinks in 2023, according to a 2024 Nielsen IQ survey. So, I mean, we're already seeing this trend, and now here's this advisory.
They're too busy on TikTok. Well, okay. Was anybody else surprised? Claire, Sarah, Imelda?
No. And I think, Sarah, I even told you we were talking about this, and I was like, oh, I thought we already knew this.
And I said, nobody told me. I mean, this is really, because Claire, you said, well, I feel like you know doctors in your family and just people who are interested in health. And what you said was people who are generally healthy or even healthy for a profession say that you shouldn't drink a lot. And my response to that was that we talked about a decade ago how good red wine was for your health. It's just like dark chocolate. And it's not like cigarettes or tanning, for instance. Like, I know the bad things, and I really thought wine in moderation was fine. And now the Surgeon General says it's super not.
I'm with Sarah. I was confused because everybody told me you have to get one glass of wine every day. So actually I was building my taste in wine because of that. And now what?
Yeah, I mean, I will say that there's been like a huge, I wouldn't say a seismic change, but there's definitely been this huge change in how people perceive the health benefits of alcohol. In August, one Gallup poll found that 45% of Americans see drinking 1 to 2 alcoholic beverages a day as bad for one's health, which is a 6 percentage point increase since last year and a 17-point increase compared to 2018. So this begs the question, is there a healthy way to drink alcohol? Talking to experts, I think the too long didn't read is your mileage may vary.
Oh, I was really hoping there was going to be a good answer there, Miriam.
No, it's complex. It's got a lot of complexity.
Unfortunately, it seems like maybe all of these studies have people backing them, like the lobbyists in the milk industry in the late 90s and early 2000s.
Unfortunately, the media also may be a little bit to blame.
Who?
The media.
No, it's never us.
What's interesting is that this trend toward drinking less was already happening, has been happening prior to this. What do you think has been driving that? I mean, I'm someone who now I drink so little, almost not at all these days. And I know why for me personally, I do that. I mean, I just feel better. I mean, that's really the crux of it. I just feel better when I don't drink alcohol. I think part of that is just aging in that way.
Hey, I feel you, Claire, because I'm turning 39 next week. And I mean, I like to still think I'm healthy, but my Delulu can only be tolerated for so long.
So have you noticed anything that could be the reason for that trend?
Yeah, I think maybe it's important to first address sort of like there's a smorgasbord of scientific literature out there that seems to point in a lot of different and maybe conflicting directions regarding the health benefits of alcohol. I talked to Dr. Mac Mitchell, who is a gastroenterologist at UT Southwestern Medical Center. He is also a member of the Board of Scientific Counselors for the National Institute of Alcoholism and Alcohol Abuse, and he also used to be on its advisory council. He explained that the first studies examining how drinking alcohol influenced mortality rates dates back to the 1970s. Some of these studies were case control studies, which means they were observational studies comparing two groups of similarly matched people. So like maybe people of the same age group, but differ in their alcohol consumption. Other studies were prospective studies, which are also observational, but they follow a group of people over time. It's from these sorts of studies we have recommendations of what's moderate consumption, which is 2 drinks a day or less for men and 1 drink a day or less for women. By the way, a drink is defined as 12 fluid ounces of beer, 5 fluid ounces of wine, or 1.5 fluid ounces of hard liquor or distilled spirits. I don't know who's keeping track of their fluid ounces when they're drinking alcohol.
I also don't know who hates women during all of this.
That is true. It's like, why women less?
Miriam, I want to know, do you socially drink?
No, for religious reasons, I have not had a drop of alcohol in all my 38, almost 39 years of being alive. I will say I've had non-alcoholic beer, which I learned recently from Anna, does have a small percentage of alcohol.
Well, this is actually an important thing because a lot of people don't know this, and even people embedded in sober culture don't know this. So non-alcoholic drinks actually have alcohol in them, but it's under 1%. And so it's a very, very, very low amount of it, but it still has a little bit. If you're trying to have absolutely no alcohol, you're looking for something that says 0 alcohol or no alcohol on it or alcohol free. And that truly means that there is not a drop of it. But non-alcoholic can have an ABV up to a certain point.
Of course, I drink socially sometimes too much. No, but just 1 or 2 times a year. But alcohol makes me feel like weird. Sometimes it gets me all flushed and my legs start to have some pain. So what is happening?
I will say that
We also always ask Miriam medical questions at work because her
Dr. Miriam.
I was going to say both of your parents are doctors, right?
My
Your
mom
mom
is a
is.
doctor. My sister's in medical school. My dad, he likes to think he's a doctor, but he's not. He's an engineer.
But it's a little bit like you, where you're like, you don't think you're a doctor. You know you're not, but
I call myself doctor adjacent.
you're doctor adjacent.
Yeah.
You talk to a lot of people and you know how to do the research behind these things. So what's Imelda's diagnosis?
Imelda will live. It's very common for people to experience the same symptoms. It's called alcohol flush reaction. So your body does react to certain chemicals that are in the alcohol, and it will cause something called vasodilation, which is like your blood vessels like kind of expanding.
Thank God, Dr. Miriam. Thank you for the consultation.
Speaking of, Imelda, how alcohol makes you feel, I also am a social drinker. And I think I would have said a year ago that alcohol doesn't affect me that much the next day. Now, I now wear one of these watches. Mine is called a Whoop, but there are lots of other brands like the Aura Ring and these others that tell you all sorts of statistics all day long about your body. And it can be simple things like how many steps you took, but also like what your resting heart rate is and how well you slept last night and actually how much deep sleep you got and all sorts of different things. I know so much more about my body since I've been wearing this thing for 6 months. And I am devastated to say that it has changed my alcohol consumption. I drink less on purpose. And there are so many nights when if I've had one glass, I don't go for a second because I can chart how much red wine affects my sleep poorly. And man, I just hate that because after a long day at work, I am able to consume alcohol in moderation and I like enjoy a glass of wine here or there. But you think you know how you feel or don't feel. It's like I've got it on my phone, the numbers. And so I've been drinking a lot less for fun. The other thing, I don't know what the Surgeon General would think about this, but to me, I'm now preferring to save it. It's like I'd rather have a couple of drinks on Saturday night than one drink a night for 3 nights and wreck 3 days of sleep. I'm like, well, if I'm going to go to a friend's birthday party, we're going to Uber there. I'll have a couple of drinks, Uber home. I wreck 1 night's sleep and I had a lot of fun. I don't know if that makes any science sense, but I'm like hyper attuned to how drinking makes you feel now. And the results are super bummy.
Yeah, I mean, it kind of goes back to what I was saying about your mileage may vary because what we could drink when we were younger may not necessarily be the same amount that we can drink when we're older. And there's a multitude of other factors that kind of like feed into that, like your lifestyle, your diet.
I've had like a few years long, to borrow the words from circa 2015, Gwyneth Paltrow, conscious uncoupling with alcohol.
Great.
I have had to find ways to still like enjoy a drink out that doesn't have alcohol. Miriam, you've been at this your whole life. How do you do it? What kind of drinks do you gravitate toward when you were out?
Well, I have been venturing more into mocktails and non-alcoholic drinks. The taste is great, but if I can drink water, that's what I do. I'm just very boring that way. It's constantly in the back of my mind about water in terms of health benefits is better than drinking a mocktail, which God knows how much sugar is in it, or I don't know, a non-alcoholic beer, which I don't think a non-alcoholic beer is unhealthy, but it does have a lot of calories in it.
But to get back to it, can we drink in moderation?
Well, kind of going back to the studies that Dr. Mitchell was telling me, from these studies, we've discovered that drinking too much alcohol on a regular basis can increase someone's risk for cancers of the throat, upper respiratory tract, stomach, pancreas, and even breast cancer. But on the flip side, there are studies that have suggested moderate consumption of alcohol could be good for you. But a controversy within some of these studies, Mitchell said, is that there is a confounding effect of socioeconomic status, namely the fact that the higher you are on the socioeconomic ladder, the less likely you are to experience alcohol-related health consequences because you can afford things like better health care or enjoy an overall healthier lifestyle than someone on the lower rung on the socioeconomic ladder. For instance, Mitchell told me about studies that found that people with higher socioeconomic status may drink similar or even greater amounts of alcohol than people with lower status, but the latter group tends to bear a disproportionate burden of health consequences. So again, it goes back to your mileage may vary because it ties into what are the other things you're doing outside of alcohol consumption.
I have a question, Miriam. So recently I worked on this story about this company in Denton. They are called Wild Revival, and they are working on a cannabis-infused drink. And they told me this is a hot topic, and it's non-alcoholic, but it gives you the same effect, so to speak. So are they healthy? Is there an alternative there?
We don't truly understand what cannabis does systemically in the body because cannabis is a Schedule I controlled substance under federal law, which means that it's still difficult for scientists to be able to do the kind of research to understand what it does throughout the entire body. So, I'm a little bit leery of when people say, oh, cannabis can help you with this, cannabis can help you with that, because maybe some people see that it helps them relax. But again, we don't fully know the picture once it's in your body.
Miriam, why do I cry after I have just a sip of gin?
I don't know, Anna, maybe you gotta ask the gin.
Every time, years, that's the only alcohol.
So Miriam, this is Julie, the producer. I've noticed over the years that I don't get hangovers anymore. I get horrific anxiety where if I have, let's say I go out and I have 3 drinks, I will wake up hating myself and usually in some form of a panic attack, and it takes hours to go away. What is that? Because I don't even remember people mentioning anxiety until very recently.
This comes from the Alcohol and Drug Foundation. And basically what they say is that alcohol changes neurotransmitters in our brain. So 2 neurotransmitters, one is called gamma aminobutyric acid and another one is called glutamate. So when the alcohol starts wearing off and your brain is trying to recalibrate the balance, it tries to reduce the brain's amount of GABA, the gamma aminobutyric acid, and increasing glutamate, which makes us feel more anxious. So that's what's happening in your brain.
So Miriam, where do people go from here with this new information?
Yeah, because it can be very confusing for folks to navigate this, right? Because, you know, alcohol is prevalent everywhere. It's very much part of the social scene. So should we all just like go cold turkey? Mitchell's advice to folks is to consult with a healthcare provider about what a safe amount of alcohol consumption looks like for you. Again, while the U.S. guidelines are no more than 2 drinks a day for men and 1 drink a day for women, this may look different depending on your age, your current health status, lifestyle, and family history. He also fully endorses Dry January. He says if you can make it through the month-long sobriety challenge, then you probably have a healthy relationship with alcohol. If not, then now would be a good time to reevaluate alcohol's place in your life.
You can read Miriam's story on this topic by visiting dallasnews.com/food. We're going to take a short break and we'll be back to talk about how this guidance actually plays into a lot of food and drink trends we're already seeing here in DFW.
Central Market is really into food, like fish flown in so fresh it still has jet lag into food. Our sourdough starter has been around since grunge was a thing into food. We're talking more prime cuts than a greatest hits album into food. Central Market is really into food. If you are too, then we're the HQ for you, whether you're a make every recipe in the cookbook foodie or a my favorite recipe is reheat type who just digs the delectable. No place makes every day more delicious like Central Market. Really into food. Shop now at centralmarket.com.
Today, we're talking about alcohol, yes, but man, it feels like 2025 could be the year of the mocktail. We've received feedback from readers that they want to see more mocktails, but they have to be worth it.
What I've been drinking right now, my non-alcoholic drink of choice is Blue Moon, which makes a non-alcoholic beer. I have 6 cans in my fridge. Sorry, Mom.
Miriam, is Julie, the producer again. And I've noticed this, that it seems like beer companies are doing a better job at creating non-alcoholic beer because Heineken's got a 0.0 alcohol beer that's great. I like the Beck's one, but I love wine. I love bourbon. So that's the real challenge for me. And those are the tastes that I'm really missing. And are there any options for that?
I will say, Julie, that I have tried non-alcoholic wine and I find it absolutely horrid. Like I bought a couple and they're still sitting in my family's like pantry. So I honestly wish I had a better answer. I really think that companies are doing such a great job with non-alcoholic beer, but I think the wine is lacking. And until there's a day where someone introduces me to a good non-alcoholic wine, I got nothing for you.
I find that the non-alcoholic drink has just as much to do with ritual as it does to do with taste. So at home this month, for me, it's about a fun glass and a great sparkling can of something and perhaps a straw. You know, I know that sounds silly, but if you think about why and when you would often gravitate toward a drink, whether that's a bourbon cocktail like Julie just mentioned or a glass of wine, to me, it's, you know, at the end of a work day or to celebrate something. And you can do all those things with a cute glass and a straw. Now, as a person who loves red wine specifically, it's not the same as a glass of red wine, but that's what I've been doing this January. There are many restaurants, as Claire mentioned, that have 0 proof cocktails, and many of them are very good. It is hard to spend more than $10 on an alcohol-free beverage, but if you are with people socially who enjoy drinking, and you generally do, it helps me feel like I'm part of the crew if I've got something fun to drink and if it looks like what other people are drinking.
So why are these mocktails so expensive? Because I have a real issue with that. And when we're talking about what is essentially a couple of splashes of fruit juice, some herbal component, and then maybe some soda, why is that costing me $12?
I think it depends on where you are and what you're drinking. There are places that do mocktails well, and the ingredients that they use cost close to the same as what they're using for an alcoholic drink. There are a lot of non-alcoholic spirits out there that aren't super cheap. Now, the people who are charging you about the same price for something that is pretty much Topo Chico, a simple syrup, and a slice of fruit, I take serious issue with that. It's not fair. It's not cool. If you're going to charge someone for something, put the same amount of effort into it. That irks me. And I take close note of the places that do that and the places that are actually putting some thought into their non-alcoholic drinks.
Well, what are some of those places, Claire?
The first place that comes to mind for me is Bar Colette. This is a little bar in West Village that does incredible mixology. They're doing really phenomenal cocktails there, but they also have part of their menu dedicated to zero proof and then also low ABV cocktails as well. The guy who leads their beverage program, who actually came from Florida to head up Bar Colette and won Michelin recognition for his mixology in Florida, Ruben Roland, he doesn't really drink himself. And he's over one of the most interesting dynamic bars that we have in this city. So that creates a really interesting dynamic. And because of it, they're producing some cocktails that are non-alcoholic or low ABV that are really wonderful. So for anyone listening who's looking for a place like that, I would direct them to Bar Colette for one.
You're reminding me that I love the low ABV section at Clifton Club, actually, which is on Fitzhugh. Typically, by the time I make it to Clifton Club, I have been out for a while. That's like a later night spot for me. And I don't want to be hitting the sauce really hard. I want something a little bit more mellow. And they have a really, really thoughtful low ABV menu.
I have a place, but I actually haven't been there, but I want to go. It's called Beyond the Bar. And this is a place where you can find like bottles of non-alcoholic beverage. So you can buy the bottles there and they have a taste room. So I think it's a good place to explore.
Beyond the Bar is in Richardson, right?
Yeah, right. And there's another place in Dallas. It's Community Beer Company. They offer this beer. It's called Nada. It means nothing. They have some options in there, an IPA, a Pilsner, and even a Buck. So it's a good option to explore here in Dallas.
Julie, back to your question about non-alcoholic wines. I agree with you. There's a lot of terrible ones out there. I recently discovered Trader Joe's sparkling tea, which is non-alcoholic. It is in the tea section. They have two kinds. It comes in corked bottles, like a champagne bottle. There is a white sparkling tea and a rosé sparkling tea. They are both delightful. You pour them into a champagne glass and your brain would have no idea that you were drinking something non-alcoholic.
So they don't really taste like tea. They taste like wine?
To me, it tastes more like wine than tea. And they are made with de-alcoholized wine and tea. So you get that wine taste and it's just like drinking kind of like a cava or something like that.
That's a great tip.
That is, and I might actually pick some up on my way home today. Do you have any idea if the tea is caffeinated?
Julie, I don't know the answer to that fully. The white sparkling tea is made with some green tea. I do know, though, that I am someone who can't process caffeine well. It's never bothered me. So I think if there is caffeine in it, it's not much.
And it sounds like it goes back to the thing I said before about Ritual. This is a bottle that looks like a bottle of champagne. I'm just thinking about opening that. After dark one night, we've got the fire on, the kids are asleep, it's Saturday night, it's dry January. And I would love to drink a glass of one of those in our pretty champagne glasses.
And you will feel great the next day.
Yes, I will sleep well too.
That's all the time we have for today. Again, you can reach out to us to share your food, thoughts, and questions by emailing us at eatdrink@dallasnews.com. And you won't want to miss next week's episode. We are going to be talking about cooking tips, and we want to hear yours too. So please email us at eatdrink@dallasnews.com with your favorite go-to essential cooking tips. This show is produced by Julie Fisk. To catch up on every episode of this show and hear more from our newsroom, just follow the Dallas Morning News wherever you get your podcasts. And if you like what you hear, please rate the show and leave a review. Find links to all of our work at dallasnews.com/listen. You'll also find a special membership offer there. For the news, I'm Anna Butler. We appreciate you tuning in, and we'll see you next week.
Eat, Drink, DFW from the Dallas Morning News is made possible by Central Market.